konnichiwa, and welcome back to Say It and Go, Japanese, the podcast where we skip the boring textbook drills and get straight to the good stuff. I'm your host, Charles.
And I'm Danielle. And Charles, today's topic is something I am so passionate about because it's the stuff that actually makes you sound less like a tourist and more like someone who, gets it.
Exactly. We're talking about cultural etiquette phrases, the little things you say that show respect and understanding, things that have like a much deeper meaning than a direct translation would suggest.
Right. Like anyone can learn arigato for thank you, but there are so many other ways to express gratitude that are just richer. So, where should we start?
Let's start where every good day should start, with food.
Ooh, yes. Okay, so the big one before a meal, it's not bon appetit, it's
Itadakimasu.
itadakimasu. Okay, break it down for us. What are we actually saying?
So, itadakimasu literally translates to something like, I humbly receive. But it's so much more than that. You say it before you start eating, usually with your hands together in a little prayer like gesture.
Mm-hmm.
And in that one word, you're expressing gratitude for everything. You're thanking the person who cooked the meal, the person who served it, the farmer who grew the vegetables, the fisherman who caught the fish. You're even thanking the life of the plant or animal itself.
Wow, that's beautiful. It's not just saying grace, it's acknowledging the entire chain of life and effort that brought the food to your plate. I remember the first time I was invited to a family dinner in Japan, the grandfather led the itadakimasu, and even the youngest child, who could barely talk, put his little hands together. It turns a simple meal into this profound moment of shared gratitude.
Exactly. It's respect for the craft, for the ingredients, for the effort. It's a microcosm of the entire culture in one word. It's one of those things that once you see it, you start doing it yourself because it just feels right.
It really does. My moment was at a ramen shop. I was so focused on the ordering machine, but then I saw all these stoic-looking salarymen put their hands together and bow their heads slightly before digging in. It was this quiet, shared moment of respect for noodles, but it was more than noodles, wasn't it?
Exactly. It's such a fundamental part of the culture. And then once you're done eating, there's a bookend to it.
Right. Gochiso-sama deshita.
Perfectly said. Gochiso-sama deshita. This one is more directly about the meal itself. Gochiso means like a feast or a grand meal. So you're basically saying, that was a feast, or thank you for the wonderful meal.
And it's not just for fancy meals. You say it to the host if you're at their home, or to the chef at a tiny ramen churner as you leave. I remember feeling so accomplished the first time I said it to a chef and got a hearty arigato gozaimasu back. It's like a secret handshake.
The gratitude handshake. I like that. I've even seen people say it quietly to themselves after finishing a bento box on a park bench. It's not for anyone else's benefit. It's a personal expression of appreciation. It closes that loop of gratitude we talked about.
It really is. So that's mealtime covered. Now, what about visiting someone's home? This is another area that's full of these essential phrases. When you first get to the door, you can't just say hello.
Oh, definitely not. You have to start with an apology, right? Basically, the phrase is ojama shimasu. Ojama shimasu.
Which means what, like, sorry to bother you?
Pretty much, it literally means I'm doing a rude thing or I'm intruding. It's this super humble way of acknowledging that you're entering someone else's private space.
I love that. It sets such a respectful tone from the very beginning. You're not just barging in, you're acknowledging their hospitality.
Exactly. You're downplaying your own gift to show respect. It's a beautiful, intricate dance of politeness.
Which literally means this is a boring thing, but it's that humility again. You could be handing them solid gold and you'd still say it's a boring thing.
And then there's the dance of giving the gift. You don't just thrust it at them, you wait until you formally entered, and then you offer it with both hands, saying something like, "Tsumaranai mono desu ga."
A delightful burden. That's perfect. And the wrapping is almost as important as the gift itself. You don't just hand over a plastic bag from the store. Often, a department store will wrap it exquisitely for you. There's a real pride in presentation.
Not at all. And there's an art to it. The classic choice is usually something consumable, like a box of nice crackers, a beautifully wrapped cake, or some seasonal fruit. The key is that it's something the host doesn't have to store forever. It's a temporary, delightful burden.
Oh, absolutely. This brings us to the crucial culture of teimiyage, or the gift you bring when visiting someone's house. It's not optional, really.
And speaking of hospitality, you can't just show up empty-handed. That would be the real intrusion. Right, and just as you entered with ojama shimasu, you leave with its partner phrase, ojama shimashita, the past tense version.
I have intruded, a perfect bookend to the I am intruding. It's like you're tidying up after yourself linguistically. Of course, it's all about these pairs, these conversational call and responses. Which brings me to my favorite set of phrases, the ones for leaving and coming back home.
Oh, the classics. Okay, so if you're the one leaving the house, maybe for work or school, you say itakimasu,
Itekimasu.
which means I'll go and come back.
hmm And the person staying home responds,
Iterashai.
meaning, please go and come back. Basically, have a good day. See you later. It's such a warm, reassuring little ritual.
It is, and the ritual complete when you return. You walk in the door and announce Tadaima,
I'm home.
and the person at home welcomes you with Okaeri nasai.
Or just okairi informally. Welcome back. It makes a house feel like a home, you know?
It totally does. These little exchanges are the bedrock of daily life. Okay, let's shift gears a little bit. We've talked about gratitude, but what about the gray area between thank you and I'm sorry?
Ah, yes. You're talking about the magic word, sumimasen.
The ultimate multi-purpose tool of the Japanese language. So most people learn sumimasen as excuse me or I'm sorry, and it is. If you bump into someone, you say sumimasen. If you need to get a waiter's attention, you say sumimasen.
Right. But it's also used as thank you all the time, and that can be confusing at first.
It really can. But think of it this way. When someone does something for you, like holds a door or gives you a gift, you're not just grateful, you're also acknowledging that you've troubled them. You've caused them to make an effort on your behalf.
Ah, I see. So saying sumimasen in that context is like saying, oh, thank you so much, and I'm sorry for the inconvenience. It's a very humble form of gratitude.
You got it. It's really common. Someone gives you a present, and you might say, sumimasen, while bowing. You're conveying both thanks and a bit of, you shouldn't have.
Okay, so on that note, what about a really formal situation? Like your boss gives you a compliment or a gift. Is sumimasen still the way to go?
You could, but there's an even higher level phrase, osore irimasu. Osore irimasu. This is a very polite, very formal phrase that can mean thank you or I'm sorry. It conveys a deep sense of humility and respect.
Okay, so that's one for the business toolkit. You probably wouldn't use that with your friends.
Definitely not. They'd think you were being weird. But with a client or a superior or an official, osore irimasu shows a great deal of cultural awareness.
This is all so fascinating because it's so indirect. The language is designed to soften everything, which brings us to our last and maybe most difficult topic, how to say no.
Ah, yes, the art of the polite refusal. In Japanese culture, directly saying ie, which means no, can be seen as very blunt, even rude, depending on the context.
So, what's the alternative? How do you turn down an invitation without causing offense?
The key is to be vague and use the magic word chotto.
Chotto, which means a little bit. How does that work?
Okay, let's role play. Danielle, ask me if I want to go get drinks tonight.
Okay. Charles-san, 今晩飲みませんか?
こんばんは、ちょっと。
And that's it. You didn't say no. You didn't give a reason. You just said, tonight is a little, and trailed off.
Exactly. The is a little implies difficult or inconvenient. It's understood by everyone that this is a soft no. It leaves the door open, it doesn't reject the person, it just rejects the specific suggestion.
So, mastering wachotto is a huge level up for anyone trying to navigate social situations in Japan.
100%. It's a game changer.
Speaking of game changers, there's another phrase that's just as essential, especially in the workplace. It's one of the first things you hear when you walk into a Japanese office.
You are absolutely talking about otsukare-sama desu. If sumimasen is the Swiss Army knife of apologies, otsukare-sama is the Swiss Army knife of the entire workplace.
It really is. It's one of those words that once you get it, you feel like you've unlocked a new level of understanding of Japanese culture. You start using it and you finally feel like part of the team.
It's a huge mindset shift. We don't really have a single phrase in English that does all that work. Good job is maybe the closest, but it feels so evaluative, like it's coming from a superior. Otsukare-sama is collaborative.
Otsukare-sama desu. It's a toast to your collective hard work. I honestly struggled with it at first. I kept thinking, why is everyone telling me I'm tired? It took a while to understand that it was a compliment, a sign of belonging.
Yes, and then my favorite use, after a long day, you go out for drinks with your team, and the cheers is often, you guessed it,
Right, and when you leave for the day, you say, "Osaki ni shitsure shimasu," which means, "Excuse me for leaving before you," and everyone else replies to you with, "Otsukare-sama deshita." It's this whole ritual.
pretty much. You walk into the office, see your colleague who's already working, you say, otsukare-sama desu. You pass someone in the hallway, otsukare-sama desu. You finish a tough meeting, everyone says, otsukare-sama deshita, the past tense.
Okay, so let's give some examples because it feels like you use it for everything. It's a greeting, a farewell, and a cheers all in one.
Exactly. It's an acknowledgement of shared experience. When you say otsukare-sama desu to a colleague, you're saying, you've worked hard, I've worked hard, we are all tired together in this endeavor. It's a sign of mutual respect and camaraderie.
Which sounds like an insult in English. If my boss told me, "Danielle, you look tired," I would be mortified and start checking for under-eye bags. But in Japan, it's the opposite.
Ha! That is the perfect description. It's impossible to survive a day in a Japanese office without it. The literal translation is something like, you are tired, or you have accumulated fatigue.
Wow, we've really covered a lot of ground today. From the gratitude of itadakimasu at mealtime to the respectful intrusion of ojamashimasu when visiting, the art of gift giving, the versatility of sumimasen, the artful refusal with chotto, and now the ultimate workplace unifier, otsukare-sama desu.
We really have. And the common thread here is, I think, a deep cultural value placed on humility and consideration for others. These phrases aren't just words, they're actions that maintain social harmony.
That's the perfect way to put it. Well, that's all the time we have for today's episode of Say It and Go Japanese. We hope you feel a little more equipped to navigate the wonderful nuances of Japanese culture.
Thanks for listening, everyone. If you enjoyed the show, please consider leaving us a review on your podcast app of choice. It really helps us out. Until next time, mata ne!
Ja ne! Upbeat outro music fades in.